This has never been an easy process in many countries. We've had difficulties in the past in a number of countries because there are real issues, there are sensitivities, there are economic issues, there are national pride issues, there are sovereignty issues, and you can't ignore that they exist. If you ignore that they exist, you will crash and burn on those issues. What we're trying to do, I think, as a responsible organisation, a member state organisation, is to take a step back, create an environment where we can again look at the scientific issues, the scientific state of the art of knowledge, and then request that member states and the scientific institutions in them provide the data that would answer those questions if it exists, and work with us to set up the studies that will be needed for that data which doesn't exist. That is a human endeavour to understand a virus that has stopped our whole world. And I would ask everyone, countries, journalists, and everybody else, to create a little space for that discussion to happen. Because this is probably, right now, this is our best chance. And it may be our last chance to understand the origins of this virus in a collegiate, collective, and mutually responsible way. And I can't overstate that. This is an opportunity, but it is also a challenge, because all of the scientists joining this process understand those external pressures, and the scrutiny and the visibility of the process. So I think we're at a very important moment.
Yes, I anticipate that the Sago, in its discussions about the urgent next steps for understanding, the origins of the current pandemic, will recommend further studies in China and potentially elsewhere. And we very much hope that there will be further missions to China and other countries. The Sago itself will make recommendations or give advice to WHO. Any future missions will be organized by WHO and that member state in question. And of course, we need the cooperation of that member state to carry out any future missions.
Following a public call for experts, WHO today announced the proposed members of the WHO Scientific Advisory Group for the Origins of Novel Pathogens, or SAGO. The 26 experts were selected from over 700 applications and were chosen for their world-class expertise and experience in a range of disciplines, as well as their geographic and gender diversity. SAGO will advise WHO on the development of a global framework to define and guide studies into the origins of emerging and re-emerging pathogens with epidemic and pandemic potential, including SARS-CoV-2. There will now be a 2-week public consultation period for WHO to receive feedback on the proposed SAGO members, following which the composition of SAGO will be confirmed and the group will have its first meeting. The emergence of new viruses with the potential to spark epidemics and pandemics is a fact of nature. And while SARS-CoV-2 is the latest such virus, it will not be the last.
Portuguese and Hindi. The first question goes to